Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's JRPG Weekly Update. It's been a few weeks, but you didn't really miss a whole lot, but this week has been absolutely nuts. We are in the middle of Tokyo Game Show of 2024, and we've had some incredible news revealed. Let's just dive into what's got me most excited so far. Baku and I are going to do a whole deep dive into everything on HitPoint on Sunday, so keep your eyes peeled for that, but this is just going to be the highlights from my week, and So get ready, because it's going to start with, well, I guess a little bit of a low light, and that is actually a delay here for Decapolice. Level 5 have announced that Decapolice has been delayed all the way into 2026. Not 2025, but 2026. However, they have also announced that it will actually be cross-platform between PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Switch, and Steam. Now, this news does also come with a new trailer for Decapolice, and I think that trailer looks pretty cool. But I gotta say, 2026 makes for quite the delay, and most confusingly of all, like practically in the same breath, they also released a new teaser trailer for Holy Horror Mansion, which barely shows off any gameplay from what I could tell, but there did appear to be some turn-based combat. So yeah, maybe it's a spin-off of Yokai Watch or something. I haven't really been following that, but it seems thematically linked. You know, ghosts and horror stuff, I guess, and for kids. It looks like it's made for kids. Anyways, yeah, it looks neat, but what are you doing, Level 5? You're confusing me, man. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit into the indie corner, and we've got to talk about Threads of Time because it looks crazy good. I've been following this account on Twitter for some time now, and man, it's had me excited, but I had no idea it was going to be this incredible. This is a self-described love letter to Chrono Trigger, and I know that at this point a lot of people feel shell shock at the term, a little bit apprehensive of the term spiritual successor, love letter, that sort of thing, but honestly, this looks pretty dang sick, and I'm gonna get excited for it anyway. So it was announced at Tokyo Game Show, it's being developed by Rio Games, and is being published by Humble Games. No release date has been provided at this point. It's only been announced for Steam so far, but I really don't think it's gonna stay there for long. The game features an incredible looking pixel art, hand-drawn animations, actual time travel from like 12 million BC to well in the future, and this is going to be absolutely another one of those indie darlings. You know, first things come to mind, Chained Echoes, Sea of Stars, the new generation of Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy inspired, beautiful pixel art games that are really redefining what an indie game means at this point in time. Anyways, I'm incredibly excited to see what the game looks like and plays like when we finally get our hands on it, whenever that is. Oh man, you know what? I'm stoked. I was never disappointed by either of the games, but some people are just so negative. Like I was perusing the JRPG subreddit, and that place is so utterly depressing. Just don't even read the comments there. I used to like the JRPG subreddit, but guys, it has gotten so negative. I wasn't even planning on talking about it, but I don't even recognize the place anymore. That's why I don't go there very often. Anyways, we now have another indie RPG to talk about that's also been announced, and this is coming from the indie developer of Munana, of Virgo vs. the Zodiac and Keylocker. It's a new game that they've announced called Clowned King. Not Crowned King, but Clowned King. It's a new isometric strategy RPG looking game. I assume it's a strategy looking game based on the isometric and the platforms and stuff. Anyways, it's apparently also thematically linked to jesters and clowns and maybe mimes. I don't know. It looks pretty neat though. I'm kind of excited, even though the trailer doesn't really show off a whole heck of a lot yet. Also, there's no date provided, but the concept seems kind of neat. Probably at least in part because I've been playing D&D lately as a bard, and just the concept of big showy, crowd gathering bards and clowns. Well, not clowns, but like jesters. That's, I don't know, something. I'm feeling it right now. I probably wouldn't be most other days, but right now I am. Let's shift gears and talk about SuperDerek news before we start talking about some of the really cool stuff that came out. But some of this was really cool already. But let's talk about some stuff that I did, because last week on HitPoint we interviewed the creator of Forge of the Fae, an indie RPG that within a week has nearly tripled its initial $15,000 Kickstarter goal, with additional goals including the addition of more tracks by the incredible Yoshino Aoki. That's right, they already have some tracks in this game by Yoshino Aoki. That's the creator and the composer of the music behind Breath of Fire 3 and 4, not to be confused with Yoko Shimomura, who composed Breath of Fire 1. This is, they're both great, but dude, I love the music of Breath of Fire 3 and 4 in particular. So Yoshino Aoki has me incredibly excited for this game, but also so does the whole rest of the dang interview we did. And anyways, this game looks incredible. The vision is there. If you'd like to be a part of this game, if this Kickstarter, there will be links in the description down below that you can follow and watch. And if you want to see the actual interview that Baku and I did with David from Forge of the Fae, please go watch it, because it's an hour of just in-depth, like talking about the philosophy that they're embracing to create this game. I'm excited. I think you should be too. Now, also last week I released a sponsored video talking about Beyond Galaxyland, a turn-based space adventure RPG inspired by the movies from the 80s and 90s that I grew up loving, like Flight of the Navigator and E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and all that kind of like Last Starfighter especially. If those movies being turned into an RPG at all sounds cool and fun, go check it out if you haven't already, because it's a short video. Sponsorship aside though, I really do think that it's worth checking out if anyone is looking for a turn-based RPG that just looks and feels very different from, the kind of things that I often talk about here. Next up, let's talk about some of the Square Enix RPGs that are coming to the Xbox Series consoles, as well as some other stuff. That's the name of this loose connection of announcements here. So let's go ahead and start off with Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. That is coming to the Xbox Series consoles, which is pretty cool if you've been waiting around for that. And Legend of Mana Remaster is also coming to the Xbox Series games, but it's also coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So not the peasant version of Game Pass. You gotta get the bougie one. And same with Trials of Mana Remake, which is also coming to Game Pass Ultimate and the Xbox games, and I think it's coming to the PC Game Pass. Microsoft, why are you doing this to me, huh? I barely cared about these as it was, and now you splintered them off into 1,000 different variations. Anyways, yeah, that's cool. More stuff on more platforms. I'm happy for you. Now, there's another interesting one. Triangle Strategy is now coming to the Meta Quest. Now, at first I thought that maybe this was a skippable piece of news that we could just gloss over, but honestly the fact that a JRPG is actually coming to a VR platform is kind of sweet. Now, I know a lot of you are probably wondering, how is this enhanced by VR? It's not. At least as far as I know, I don't have a VR anything. I suspect it'll feel like the game is playing on a table sitting in front of you. And if that sounds appealing to you, then go check it out. Or, if you've got a MetaQuest VR and are looking for a worthwhile game to play, honestly, I think you could do a lot worse. I've heard incredible things about Triangle Strategy, and the more ways to play it, the better, right? Go check it out. And now this one is also kind of in a similar vein of ports and remakes and stuff. Now, Fantasian Neo Dimension now has a release date. It's going to be launching on the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 4, the Switch, and PC via Steam on December 5th. with physical versions becoming available for PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch, and it came with its own nice new release date announcement trailer, so go check that out as well. This game was a lot of fun when I played it on my iPad with a controller. I imagine that it's not going to be diminished in any way by being on consoles that people own. Now I really got to talk about this next one because my mind is completely blown by this one as well, and that's the LUNAR Remastered Collection has been announced. It's coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and PC in spring of 2025. It appears to be based on the complete versions released on PlayStation 1 and Saturn, so it's not gonna include the Prologue that was featured in the PSP version of the Silver Star Harmony. It's not likely, I'm guessing, to contain like the special features of some of the games. Gosh, I wonder, like, will they have... No, probably won't have the outtakes that were included in the PlayStation 1 version. And I'll tell you why. In this trailer, I noticed they mentioned like an all-new voiceover. And that you get to choose, I read about this later, you can choose between classic or remastered mode, an option that allows fans to travel back in time to the game's PlayStation 1 release or see them in a whole new light with widescreen support and revamped PS1 pixel art and high-definition animated cutscenes. So let's talk about some of these things. The all-new voiceover tells me that this is going to be unrelated to the Working Designs endeavor, which probably explains why it's taken so long for Gung Ho to do this. You know, they've had to retranslate, revoice, and that whole aspect of it being retranslated, I don't know for a fact, but I really suspect that because I don't see Working Designs mentioned anywhere in the materials, so it strikes me as, you know, maybe they're not using the English version we got as the basis, but the Japanese version, which would make total sense. But, you know, like I said, I feel like that's going to come at the expense of some things that made the original release, to me, the complete versions on PS1 feel like the classics that they are. The voiceover, the, you know, weird, anachronisms, you know, talking about Jekyll Maxon. It's like weird little pop culture references. Some people hated them. I loved them, but I was playing the games back in the 90s when they were, well, not that, I wasn't that far back in the 90s. When did I play this? Okay, mid-aughts. I wasn't that far removed. I loved the games then. I still do now. Honestly, I just feel like some people gotta stick up their butt about localization at this point. Whatever, though. I'm fine with, you know, them doing their own thing. I'm just saying, it's, even if they switch it back to the PS1 stock settings, it's probably not going to feel quite like my experience when I first played the games, because I think that localization was something special, even though some people probably feel like it's sacrilege in some sort of way. But whatever, that's just my opinions. I mean, of course it's my opinions, it's my YouTube channel. Who else's opinions am I gonna state here? Anyways, the game's also gonna feature sped up battle and improvement to strategy settings. So that's gonna be kind of interesting. I'm curious what those improved strategy settings could entail, because I kind of liked being able to set specific actions to be used in different scenarios. And I don't feel like there was much room for improvement there, but maybe there's something different here. I still have a lot of questions about the localization. The voiceover is new, but is the dialogue, is this a brand new localization? And when switching between the PlayStation 1 mode, how close will this be to the Working Designs version? I suspect that this will be close to a Unworked Designs version based on what I've read on their website, but it's hard to say. But the trailer does look pretty sick. We do have some release date updates here, or rather just one, for Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. It's going to be coming out January 30th, 2025 for the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4, the Nintendo Switch, yeah, just those. And worldwide, following by a PC release in spring of 2025. Moving on to the big game announcements here, we got Atelier Resleriana? Resleriana? I have no idea how that's supposed to be pronounced, but the Red Witch Alchemist and the White Guardian has been announced. This takes place in the same world as the free-to-play title Atelier Resleriana something, Forgotten Alchemy and the Polar Knight Liberator, which some of you might know as like the free-to-play gacha kind of thing, but this is a completely offline original story that won't be free-to-play as far as I can tell. It is coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, the Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam sometime in 2025. I know next to nothing about it except that it's in the same world as the free-to-play game that a lot of people didn't really love the idea of, but maybe this will fix it. Or is this sort of like the, hey, come play this game, you might get addicted to the world, and then we always have this gacha game you can go try later, nudge nudge you. I don't know if that's the strategy or not, but if I had a failing free-to-play game that a lot of my viewers and fans really wanted to be just the offline single player experience, and I still wanted to like draw them into it, this would be probably the strategy I would use. So, take that with a grain of salt. Who knows? It might be good, it might not. We don't know. But moving on, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake has got a new trailer. And it's just a quick reminder here that the game will be launching on PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, the Switch, and PC on November 14 worldwide for $60. Now, based on this trailer, it's pretty clear to me that they put a lot of time and effort into making this Dragon Quest III work with the HD 2D treatment and not just like slap on a fresh coat of paint. And, and I think that effort is really paying off in spades. In particular, I think that fans are really going to love the kind of zoomed out view of the party rather than the more traditional first person perspective where you can't even see your characters. So this is exciting, and I hope you check it out. Now, finally, the last big piece that I'm excited about is the new Metaphor ReFantazio Prologue demo that was just released. It's available right now for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, the Xbox Series consoles, and Steam. Now, progression from the demo will carry over to the launch version of the game, so players can get a head start on the adventure in the United Kingdom of Uchronia. The demo covers the first 4 dungeons of the game, which sounds like a fair bit more than I was actually able to experience when I played the first 3 hours in NYC about a month ago. You'll be in uncharted territory by the end of that demo, and I'm pretty excited to actually see what else is in store. The game's coming out on PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series consoles, the PlayStation 4, and PC on October 11. Now, that about does it for this week's JRPG Weekly Update, but if there's anything that I missed, and believe me, there is a lot that I missed, if you're upset that I didn't talk about it, go watch HitPoint. It's gonna be a couple of hours of Baku and I just catching up on everything from Tokyo Game Show that happened this week, and it's gonna be pretty exhaustive, because we didn't even get to talk this time about the Yakuza Like a Dragon, oh my gosh. Okay, there's so much left to do, but we'll do that next time. In the meantime, have a great night, have a great day, everybody.